Oh, okay. Great. Excellent. Hello. Howdy. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a good one. Hi. It's been a little while. Well, actually, I guess we were over at Vpriz's on Sunday, so not as long as it felt. But yeah, hi. It's Tuesday. That means it's card time. And we're going to get another run into Bloomburrow. I don't think I've done enough of these on stream for my liking, basically. I've really enjoyed this limited format. It's a little bit more... paint by the numbers is maybe not exactly correct, but, like, you do end up, in general, a lot of the times in a two-color setup that is pretty well defined. And deciding where you're going with your draft is pretty important to following which of those lanes are open. There's, 10 different creature types that each have their own play style. They share cards, but, like, there's only 8 drafters, and that means that some of them are going to be more open. And, yeah. So yeah, hope you're all doing well. Thank you. One of the things I have planned for just like a day where I don't really have anything else going on is showing off Tactical Breach Wizards. Came out a few weeks back and is an excellent game that I'd love to. I don't think it's a game I'd stream the whole of because I feel like I'd want I'd be more. I want people to want to seek it out rather than show it all off because there's meaningfulness in enjoying the game itself. Anyway, yeah.
It has been a minute since I was able to catch a draft.
Oh, howdy. Yeah, it's still Bloomburrow time. We are
For like another 2 weeks.
Yes, the 20. I think it's actually exactly 2 weeks from today will be Duskborn launch. We're currently going through
24th.
Yeah, they do launches on Tuesdays. So, yep. So yeah, or no, they do they launches? I think it's Tuesdays. Now I'm thinking like, oh, is it Thursdays they do things? But no, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesdays.
I believe it's Tuesdays, and that's because that's why you would typically
that's why I
cycle things around for like cubes and stuff,
Yeah. But yeah, so Duskborn is currently in like spoiler season. There's a lot of those, but you can even see when there's multiple little bits for Duskborn being shown off in here.
Most of Duskborn looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I love.
Like most people, were immediately confused by rooms.
Yeah, there every once in a while we hit a mechanic that goes like, what? And has a few oddities to it. My favorite part is like, it's a card type that if you blink, it just like is flat blank on comeback.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's nothing. It's very funny. You can turn them on still, but yeah. So that'll be 2 weeks from now. Duskmorn, I think Duskmorn spoilers end this week. And really at this point it's like trailing spoilers plus the EDH decks. For right now.
Very interesting that we continue to have basically almost exclusively stuff for this year, like being talked about.
We don't know. Yeah, like right now, I think this is the first time I can think of in, like, since I've been playing Magic, where, like, the next major set, yes, Foundations was placed in between. We don't know what the next set is, like, in the standard 4-set rotation of a year. Because Foundations is a funky. We don't know how that changes things. It's not a brand new thing that we don't really know how that affects rotation or how it affects things. But there's like the next standard set is we know the theming. We don't know the name. We don't know it.
We don't know anything else about it really. Yeah.
Which is kind of wild with like the last 2 years they went out of their way and like, hey, here's everything up through 2023 and 2024. So
yeah.
But yeah, yeah, they don't give these sets a lot of time. This one, it's funny, the gap between Bloomburrow and Duskmourn is quite short for a gap between two standard sets.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you have 4 standard sets in a year, generally. And
that means that there should theoretically be, on average, 3 months between them.
Yeah.
Or at least 2.5 or so.
For a long time, it was like 3, 3.5, 2.5 to like work around summer. This one was a little under 2.
Yep. Very short.
But the reasoning behind that is because we have, over the last couple of years, we've hit 6 major releases over a year. For instance,
there happens to be a lot of standard sets this year, right? Like it's just how it ends up being.
Well, also this was like we had Modern Horizons 3 on Arena. We have Foundations in the back of the year. We have like again, we don't know details on next year, but the count is that there's 7 major releases with a second, with another additional side set. So the fitting those all in is tough. I think the bigger thing that actually contributes to Duskmourn feeling like it is encroaching on Bloomburrow, which is this thematic for the set, is that they started Bloomburrow spoiler season by showing off the Planeswalker's Guide to Duskmourn and 15 spoilers for that set.
True. Yeah, they spoiled Duskmourn before.
Yes,
weirdly enough.
It was this really, really strange. Like they talked about it, and it was basically this set's more high concept of a weird thing. We kind of wanted to put stuff out there so that it made more sense. Whereas Bloomburrow
also,
is like, it's Mice time. Yes, next year's
Final Fantasy's next year. And we don't actually know for sure how big that's going to be, but with how they've talked about it, it's implied that it's going to be a big thing.
Yeah,
probably larger than just the commander sets.
The terminology that they used for it was tentpole release, which was how they spoke about the Lord of the Rings set.
Yeah.
So the assumption is that
it's going to be a draftable set alongside Commander product,
and likely some other odds and ends as well. Have your not notarized your numbered SIDS.
Yes, it's like, and when they said specifically that they would have stuff from all the way from 1 through 16 guaranteed. It's like you would need to have so much.
That's how much room
to do all of that. Yeah.
Like you got to have a lot of space for that. You know, some of the larger ones alone, like
7 is going to have so much representation. Like 7, I'm going to assume there's going to be like 37 cards at least.
7 being the one that is, getting remake rebirth. Clearly puts it in the front and center.
Yeah.
But like,
especially since I'm pretty sure those have been larger releases than 16 was.
So 16's PC release is next week.
That's true too, yeah.
Which I think is pretty meaningful because it's free. It'll finally be free.
From PlayStation exclusivity.
Yes.
Which, oh boy, PlayStation exclusivity I think is going to start to become a poison concept with that whole PS5 Pro.
Today, that's a wild choice to have your upgrade be a $700 minimum upgrade, which
How did you guys not learn from the PS3's release?
See, I'm thinking further back. In E3, was this 2000 or sorry 1995? Sega had their press conference showing off the Saturn, where they talked about the Saturn at length and announced its price point of $399.
Enormous at the time in 1995.
Yeah, in 1995. Sony has their conference. They've got one of their folks going on about the PS1 at the time, and one of the...
It's $249, right?
No, $299. The rep just walked up, said $299, and walked off stage. And the Saturn died in that moment because, like, you know,
full $100 less is hard to beat. Like,
yeah,
when you're talking about comparable systems like the Saturn and the PS1, like,
yeah, it's a while. So, of course, the PS3 $599 US is its own.
I mean, the PS3 was an eventual success.
It
but
was.
It was an eventual success after its price dropped to, I think, initially $449, and then later on down to $399. Like,
yeah, and the later versions of it also were different in hardware.
Yeah,
like without
the only version that had the full backwards compatibility with both systems was the first one, if I remember right.
Yeah, there was another one that had like emulation capability, and then there was just not having it at all later. Post, like, I think of it as post Metal Gear Solid 4 because I think the Metal Gear Solid 4 bundle was the last console to have that backwards compatibility. Yeah.
The PS5 Pro not. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Remember, the PS5 Pro will have a disk drive attachment for $100.
Yeah, I don't know. We're at a point where fidelity is at such a high point that, like,
it's extremely problematic for development. Like, it's becoming it's becoming an encroaching, like, noose around the industry of
size. Do you remember with
the 21st night of September?
That's coming up soon. Hopefully we all should remember. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I did remember the MGS4 bundle correctly. And okay, it was PS2 backwards, not PS. Okay.
Yeah, the PS1 backwards compatibility was always emulation.
Yes.
The PS2 backwards compatibility was hardware.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking about, like, the ever-growing issue that came up with Pokemon as a series, and like how many
when they finally ripped the Band-Aid off, it was a enormous problem for them.
Okay, I'm not feeling our rare here. Artist talent is asking for a pretty heavy prowess setup and takes a bit of a length to get going. I'm a lot more interested in our uncommon suite. We have
Feed the Cycle is solid.
Feed the Cycle. Wix Patrol is actually really strong. Because it's a little expensive, but it's an FTK that leaves a pretty strong body. Herbalist here, hands off, death touch, and +1, and then the Honored Dre Leader is like squirrels and food. Kind of wondering where I'd want to go with this. If I want to go like Wix Patrol for something big, and there's a lot of squirrel stuff in here, so it's maybe a little bit of a push to try to build something like this. But I really like the body plus removal that this gives.
Jackdaw Savior. Okay, so it's
like you get to pick up a smaller body when a flyer dies.
Yes. That's within plan for black white, right?
Yes.
So like if you grab that's something to do.
Yeah, Star Charter is also, if you've gained or lost, you get to grab a creature off your top 4. Saver is just something here we can pick up. That's a strong card that keeps us in black and cuts the color, which is something that...
True.
I'm thinking about
if you're
as
not
a,
impressed with that rare's power level as well. It is a 3/1 flyer even on its face, you know.
If we go
It
with,
is also, you know, a rare over a common.
yeah, because this wants us to have some small bodies as well to go below it.
But Saver does keep you in black.
I'm gonna keep us in black for the mo, knowing that we
Okay.
passed up something like that. Just keeping that in mind. We're seeing, because like it does look like white is kind of an open color here. So like, especially like I like Intrepid Rabbit a lot. This is a good body to pick things up with. Azure Beastbinder wants to be is an interesting piece of removal. It attacks then turns something into a 2/2, and then like it can't be blocked by that 2/2.
Right.
The black in here is a little below the cut, so I'm not as interested in it. Like Ravine Raiders, an okay aggressive 23rd. Starlit Soothsayer's also like an okay flyer. Within black-white, you have a kind of higher density of flyers just because every bat flies.
Yeah.
You got the rabbit. Okay, all right. So we're seeing stuff like
Moonstone Harbinger or
Moonstone
a Swarm.
Yeah, so Huskburster Swarm wants us to be in like a mill plan to be able to get creatures in the grave.
Which Wix Patrol is also part of, right? So
yes, Wix Patrol does mill 3 on play. And then minuses. Green also looking like fine in here. Longstock Brawl is pretty good. Crumb and Get It also is a fine trick. Moonstone Harbinger is
more on the other plan that it was
yeah,
bats and, well, just flyers in general.
yeah, works well for that. Like, can get things going pretty heavily. I like the idea of the Swarm. If we can get some of the self-mill going. Blue-black and green-black both can support that pretty well. So it's something I'd want to keep an eye out for. Carrot Cake is a card that plays way above its rate, or what it looks like. It's a 1/1 that makes it another 1/1 that also has like multiple scries and life gain on it. Makes multiple bodies. It's one of the smoothest cards you can play with.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sinister Monolith also like cool. This is a card that turns on all the bat synergies very easily by giving you a drain 1 at the beginning of combat.
Right.
It also,
and you can also draw 2.
Yeah, so I'm thinking between that and the Carrot Cake, Flight's also fine. Blooming Blast is also fine. I'm gonna pick up the Monolith because black is kind of what we're sitting in. Looking like black-white looks like a nice place to be. Drift Gloom Coyote is a fine removal. This is a kind of a big Banisher Priest. Sonar Strike and Savor are both fine pieces of removal for small bits. Savor again works with like the life gain bits and also with the food stuff in green. And then we have like perfectly fine 3s here. I'm kind of sitting on like just, hey, there's a lot of black coming by. Keep picking it up, you know?
Harbinger's back. Well, not back. This is a different one.
Yeah,
Head of the Homestead is mono white to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, I actually kind of like this as a pickup. It also can pivot easily and is a card that's just like nice to be playing. Multiple bodies. Maybe a little big. Moonstorm Harbinger's also a fine pickup because it, with the Monolith we picked up. I wish I had better things to say about Night Fisher, but I feel like it dies too easily to like it just asks for a removal spell. I'm gonna go with the Head of the Homestead, see where that leads. Okay, Star Charter coming back around is quite nice. This is a card that pays off.
The person who picked the rare is going to be sad that they missed this one pick too late.
Yeah.
Because he grabbed it right when they grabbed it. Probably would have grabbed it.
Yeah. This also works off of power. so it can reveal something like Head of the Homestead and keep that going. Sonar Strike is quite good.
That's removal.
That's 4 damage. Okay, looking like we can get going with the... Yeah, okay, Star Charter number 2.
Black White's absolutely the place where you should be.
Okay, let's keep going here. The best thing would be if we got back, the 1/3 Death Touch bats, but that's a pretty unrealistic ask because that card's still playable even outside of the bats.
All we gotta do is open up a Sorin in Bloomburrow.
Okay, so we've got... This is
absolutely nothing in your colors.
Yeah, so welcome to Current Pack Coalition. This can just occur.
Ugh.
This pack has 3 rares.
3 rares and only 1 white card and 1 black card.
I haven't talked at length about Current Pack Coalition in the way that I think that it causes issues in Limited, but like Current Pack Coalition causes some pretty big issues in Limited. Vine Reap Mentor and Intrepid Rabbit are the best cards close to us in this pack. Intrepid Rabbit is at least like a very good card. We want some... The thing we're looking for right now is we want the Bat Bird that has gain a life when you play a creature. That's going to be the most important card to kind of get in this deck together. And like Rabbit is a way to make that creature be able to work in combat. Okay, hold on.
Is that good enough to pivot away from black? Like, here's the thing. Your black's pretty okay.
I know.
I think this Archer is just better than all of your black.
Oh, this is... Can I pivot to 3 colors? That's harder. I like Phineas a lot, especially with us getting cards like Intrepid Rabbit, which are ones that Phineas gets pumps on very easily. I'm willing to
think that it's worth it. It is going to be harder to get white in this because you're passing to the right now.
Yeah, the other pick I think would either be Shrike Force or Sonar Strike number 2. I'm gonna go with Phineas and see if green-white stays possible. Dewdrop Cure, Moonrise Cleric, and Bushy Bodyguard. Bushy Bodyguard
has Offspring on it, which is exactly what Phineas wants.
Yes. Bushy Bodyguard here is both it and the Offspring can forage for +2/+2 for counters, which we can try and feed with like a Saver, or just like with cards. I'm going to try to pivot, I feel. The card, if I wasn't pivoting, would be Moonrise Cleric. This is
a solid,
and even as is, it's probably a fine pickup. I might still, I probably like should pick it over the Bodyguard, but I kind of want to get this color combination working. Patchwork Banner over Banishing Light.
That is fixing.
That is fixing,
and also
and
you can
anthem.
Choose rabbits.
Well, I can choose whatever's like best in slot, which right now is rabbit. You know, that's the thing I really like about this card is that it lets you shift for what's best in slot. I know we're passing up a Banishing Light for that, but the Starscape is also like very powerful. Like God, I can see the lines for both sides here, and neither of them are breaking up, which makes this really we're trying to thread a needle. I'm going to try and thread a needle. That's what I'm doing.
Or the Common Good is a thing that creates a bunch of tokens, and they become indestructible and is in green.
This one's awkward because it is copies of target token, so at best this is generally copying a 1/1.
Yeah.
There's not a ton in here that's very exciting.
The Bruiser is playable.
Yeah, I'm thinking like just grab like our reasonable piece of equipment. This thing's actually quite strong at.
I mean, yeah, +1/+1 equip 1 is usually pretty good in limited.
The actual use case for this is usually with heroic stuff. I always call it valiant stuff. The keyword for mice, which is once per turn heroic, but it spells and abilities. This, by the way, is the thing I dislike the most out of the current coalition. Is that
being able to see 2 of the same common sucks.
Yeah, Bravekin Duo is also very good. I'm gonna shift here. Ooh, okay. This is really
good.
okay. Well, you control a token that gets +2, and we have.
So it's a 1-mana 3/2. Dang. Okay.
If we've got tokens to go with it, which 2 Bushy Bodyguard, 2 Intrepid Rabbit to make things. The Fountain Port Bell is also a card that like we kind of want highly because this is a fixing piece. If I do want to end up playing the.
That's a fixing piece.
All right. Hold on. We can work with this. Sure. That token gets death
That's
touch.
not bad, actually.
That'll be fine. All right. One of the things I love about drafting is like, licking your finger and putting it in the air to feel the wind. You watch the grass flow over the fields, and you have to feel the wind and feel the waves on the draft to know. Sometimes should I stick out the we have a pretty heavy set of black here that's powerful, and we also okay now okay well there no choice there was no world where
there was already tons of red and blue in this. It doesn't matter. Here's the other thing though is like you may also have by doing this shift. You may have also influenced the people to your direct left and right on what they can pick.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure the player on your left is playing white because you passed over that. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
You did get 2 fixing pieces.
All right. Okay. So, okay. We just make the 3-color deck work where I'm splashing for double black. The other cards in here, Mabel's Metal is an incredibly good combat trick. Polywallop is a removal spell I'd like to get something going. Life Creed Duo is the card I was talking about, where Life Creed Duo is the card that kind of makes the bat deck work. Like, this card is this is the glue that makes the bat deck function.
Yeah.
We're gonna...
But, I mean, this is a card that has an extremely splashy effect if they have base toughness 1, which kicks ass.
Yeah. Okay, so Mistbreath Elder is a card designed very specifically for the frog deck where you want to be bouncing things. Works as a very good all-in, works very good with something like Sun Shower Druid where it could just go wild. Also, Dream Dew Entrancer is like 2/3 of a Muldrifter and also just wild as a card to be bouncing. I'm looking at stuff like literally just picking up the Haven to make this deck function. Like, let's
take your fixing. If you're gonna play your 3-color, then you need to take your fixing.
Let's
eat your vegetables.
Eat our vegetables. We gotta. Ooh, Salvation Swan.
It's a Restoration Angel, but a bird.
So the cool thing about this is a Restoration Angel. So it similarly like Resto can't target angels. This can't target flyers. However, the card that you blink comes back with a flying counter.
Yep. And
whenever a bird comes in, it repeats. So this card is high value. Caretaker's Talent is double up on tokens, draw in tokens, and tokens get +2/+2.
It's also just another Uncharted Haven.
Yeah, or Banishing Light to like give us some piece of interaction. I do not believe we have much in the way of interaction that sticks around for big things. We have our Sonar Strike Saver stuff for little stuff, but having anything...
I mean, you got the Savers, which, since you're playing...
Yes.
Your big black card, you're probably going to play those too.
Oh, Stoat. I like the Stoat a lot. This is a good... just body. It's a weasel, so it doesn't like.
This Stoat fucks up a bear so hard.
Yeah.
Eats a bear, has no downside.
Well, does not specifically does not eat a bear on Bloomburrow. The bear size on Bloomburrow is like a 6/6.
Yeah.
Everything being but if this Stoat were to find grizzly bear, crushed.
Just a regular grizzly bear.
Crushed. I'm gonna grab a Gravekin Duo. I like this card as a way to push in. Stalking Fountain Port Bell.
That Stoat slits the throat of up to 4 little girls, and you need 8 to defeat it.
Uncharted Haven the next. Okay. 2 Uncharted Havens, 1 copy of Fountainport Bell, 1 copy of Three Tree Root Weaver, and 1 copy of Patchwork Banner. We actually have a
Uncharted Haven, does that ETB tapped?
Yes, it's ETB tapped, and then pick a color for it.
Ah, rough.
Yeah. Take a copy of Rabbit Response. We don't have anything like this yet, and it's a card that can just win a game out of nowhere with our kind of set of things going wide. Corpseberry Cultivator is on 2 of our 3 colors and can work well with some of our foraging. I'd rather not have the Agate Blade on our... I don't want our black to be our cards at 2. But yeah. Salvation Swan. Okay. So, this is a very fun-looking mess. I'm very excited by what
It's a pile, but it's a pile that seems really cool.
Okay, so a lot of our power in white is around things like Swan. Actually, our white just looks like it's playable under most circumstances. Let's take a look at our green. The bodyguards, the tree.
White is definitely your primary color. It just kind of is.
I think that's the green that makes it in here. The bodyguards as go early 2-1, late, a lot of bodies, fixing. This card actually makes some push in very nice with like Intrepid Rabbit or Bushy Bodyguards token getting Death Touch. The Havens are going to go in there. I'm not touching lands at this time. Patchwork Banner goes in as another piece of fixing. And then we have the question of black as a color. So
Maha is fun to play with.
Yeah, Maha, and if we're at like that size, I'm fine playing Wix Patrol. The rest is probably just like splashing in the Savers and like Corpseberry Cultivator and like...
You'd have to really hope you get the black.
Yeah.
For Savers is the big problem. Like, you're fixing, you have, I think it's 5 pieces. You got the 2...
Oh god, Practical Reach Lizards is so much better than the Beach Lizards.
You got the 2 Uncharted Havens, you got the Patchwork Banner, you have the 3 Weaver. Is that just 4?
And then this Bell is search a basic, and then it cycles.
Right, yeah, so that's functionally fixing.
Yeah.
So you do have 5. I think that's enough to play the Savers, but it's not enough to reliably play them on turn 2.
Yeah, that's not a card. And funnily enough, like this deck thinks, I mean, rightfully so, that black is our secondary color, because of the double blacks up top. Uncharted Havens make it in here. I think that this goes down to like lower, and it's something like this. I'll look and do the actual math in a moment, but this is my gut, is something like this. White is way important. Half our deck is white, so like I want our basics to reflect that. Swamp, like we have a lot of ways to get this, and like this actually probably is something like this. Actually, I think this is what it was set as, and I think this is what I want to play it as. Do we want the bow over the monolith? I don't think over the monolith, no. Sorry, you were saying Sinister Monolith. I was thinking this.
The thing that is a 3-mana tap for mana, a monolith. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a manolith. This we don't like. This is okay. So one of the things I'm looking at is like we have.
This does draw you 2 cards in white green.
Yeah. Is that better than something like the other Saver?
Saver, you have at least a couple cards that forage.
Or, actually, this?
Sure.
Like, we're not... This is more of just Yeah, we have enough bodies down here that we just are, like, rather than milling, we're just playing creatures on curve and getting this on, like, 5 or 6, which is worse off, but, like, still quite functional. I'm gonna go with this. Let me take a look at the color math. Yeah, 12, 5, 7 as far as cards, but black has 2 double black cards, but green is important for the fixing in the first place. So... yeah, I'm okay with this. One thing to note is, like, our creature types. Rabbit is the most, which is what we're going to be calling with the banner, under almost all circumstances. However, it is important to know that, like, we can call other things. Like, if Star Charter all of a sudden needs to be our win con, like, here's a way for us to, like, make this 4 power or something like that, where we can push through like that. Let's see how this works. Let's see what this looks like. This is one that is gonna trip over itself a couple times, but I feel like it's got some power behind it. Having like Phineas early game, Maha late game, as far as our like cards are concerned, feels really nice. So. Okay, round 1. This is fine, and this is a quite aggressive hand. We obviously don't have the resources for the bodyguard, but we have a lot of, like, we have plays on curve, plays, like, an up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So. Alright. Removal spell on Phineas? Yeah. That's a play that's like a near 100% requirement there. Because if Phineas wasn't killed there, like, we were going to be putting counters on a lot of bodies. Okay. This thing's dangerous. This thing's quite playable and constructed. Hardfire hero.
Oh, is a favorite hoplite back?
Yeah, on death, hitting your opponent for its power.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can offspring this. We don't have anything to, like, forage for this, so it's just a 2-2, a 2-1 and a 1-1. But we do control a token, so, like, this is asking for a higher trade. Not an incredibly high trade, mind you, but a higher one. Okay. All right. So this is 1-1 on a non-flyer, which will trigger the Valiant on Hardfire Hero.
Which means it'll become a 3-3, and... So you kind of have, yeah, you have to leave out the Sonar Strike, huh?
Okay. We got some... Okay. My ass.
Oh, God.
All right.
2 more haste threats, huh?
All right. We're getting...
This is a full core press.
Yeah.
And you're going to get hit with, what is this?
Yeah, so I think we need to kill this flyer or we're going to die. Like, that's the thing that's enabling all of the heroic triggers. We still have problems of... like...
God, it has vigilance as well?
Yeah,
Damn.
vigilance haste. So this thing impulse draws on targeting. Okay.
The good news is that it seems like you've currently ran them out of gas, and you have a on board that beats their board.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
It's like you need to be able to kill at least one more thing for it to work out.
I'm gonna keep pressure. Like this
Yeah,
3/2 is able to attack. They're drawing a lot of lands. This is a point where I want
Saber is good to get. Now we're talking.
Let's just take out this one because this is the one that is card draw on
Yeah, and then you can just swing it with both of your 3 powers, and
even
they can
better
take trades if they want.
Even better, I can forage.
Oh, right, it's a forage, so that thing's fine.
So now I can continue pushing, like so. And now we've got our opponent on the ropes.
Yeah, they ran out of
Okay,
gas.
we ran them out of gas. That's
That's the power of having a couple removal spells on when your opponent is got a fantastic curve out.
Yeah,
but they have no way to follow it up.
So this right here, Emberheart Challenger and Heartfire Hero are pieces of a like constructed prowess deck, like in multiple different colors. Like you can play this in red, white, red, green, red, blue. Emberheart Challenger on Valiant is like impulse draw. Play it for the turn. Heartfire Hero grows and has a on death burn, and then Benter here is +1 itself in the same manner. So yeah,
Hero. When I see that card, my thought immediately goes to
favorite
hoplite.
Yeah, very favored hoplite.
Which I don't know if favorite hoplite had a standard deck built around it, but it was a menace in limited.
There were definitely decks built around favorite hoplite. Like I like that, and like ordeals were probably the best 1-2 punch. I don't know that was like top level at the time, but like if you were at an FNM, you would expect a turn 1 favorite hoplite and go, oh no, or like turn 2.
The top decks of the time were like Pelucrano based, if I remember right? Like
Black had a lot going on there. I remember like Master Waves, Master of
Master Waves as well. Yeah,
like Black
good old Master of Babes.
There were a lot of different directions in here. This is a little land heavy, but it's also like really nice on the curve.
It's all colors, and you have a good curve out. Yeah, and you got a removal spell, so like who cares?
I almost feel like I want that draw too in this. The more we're playing out with this. Oh my god. We are
let's go.
We are so good.
All you have to do is draw Phineas.
All right, a removal spell happens
every game,
and then a removal spell happens.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh, your opponent's dead. Okay, they're stuck on 2 and it's monocolor.
This is. Yeah, okay. We're done. We're so done. Okay. That's
buddy. I understand, but come on, you can't. So you just choose rabbit and then
rabbit tank. Are we attacking for? Yeah, we're even getting the.
He's getting 2 additional. You get the +1 from that, and then +2 counter. Yeah, this is lethal, right?
Yeah, it's lethal and it draws a card.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, if you want to know why I picked Phineas.
This is why you picked.
This is why I picked Phineas. This is it. This game, I'm glad I got a game where like, I'm glad I got one out of here that was like, I don't know, like, is that really? Yes. The answer is yes. Like, lethal and draw a card.
See, when you were going to pick Phineas, I did specifically say your black is good, but I think this single card is better than all of your black.
Rabbit and rabbit and rabbit. Yeah, man. Love our rabbits. This has got some sweet speed to it, and like
this deck's got the sauce.
Yeah. Every draft has a
rabbit and rabbit, 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 and rabbit, and rabbit, 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 and rabbit, and rabbit, rabbit.
Love to have turn 4 kills in limited.
Same.
Like, our opponent did like 2 damage to themselves, like, but it's fine.
Yeah, so that wasn't turn 4 kill on your own power technically, but
all right.
Maha's a dead card at the moment. The Heart of the Homestead is also expensive for the starting hand.
And Corpseberry Cultivator is actually not... This isn't castable on the hand.
Oof.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
I think this is a mulligan. This is too top-heavy on colors we can't play. Like, we're looking to draw Swamp specifically, and then it's like Corpseberry and a Rabbit and a Maha, and then it's fine, but that's like... We can do better.
That's a pretty wild draw to get... You don't have any green in your hand at the moment. You can get rid of Huskburster Swarm because it's not happening at the moment, but everything else is playable in this, right?
Yeah, this is asking for just as much trouble. We'll see. So this is similar in that it is also, like, as it was, this hand had a number of dead cards in it, but the reason I liked it more is that it turned on a higher value, when we drew land 4, because getting Star Charter and Swan on are both, like, powerful things, whereas the other hand turned on, like, a 2-3.
On top of it, you had a playable removal spell as well.
Yeah. Alright, opponent did not, like, run the aggro in at us, which is nice.
Despite playing
but
red-black.
I would say, despite being the lizard color, which means we might be seeing, like, some sort of menace threat, or maybe the Infamous, okay. Oh, okay. Aww.
That is a... Oh, this is one of the prowess cards.
So this is interesting because, the duos are a cycle of 10 cards in this set that are dual-typed.
Yeah.
So the otter side is the untap on prowess. The lizard side is the ping, because a ton of the lizards have... if your opponent took damage this turn, better card. So we're gonna get Star Charter down. We don't have any life gain. Funnily enough, if we can get them to Kindle Spark in weird timings, we can turn this on. So that's nice. But this is mostly here as a way for them to turn on Bloodthirst triggers. They could play a 4-4 Menace this turn instead of a 3-3 Menace, for instance. I think that card has reach, too. Don't do that.
I really like whenever they use reuse ability words.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Kindle Spark Duo numero...
I understand.
Spanish for number dos.
We're gonna pump the Star Charter, and we're gonna go in with Star Charter. I could play the Bushy Bodyguard kicked, but like...
You just get the 2-1 and the 1-1, right?
And those bodies are dead.
That's opponent only.
No, I mean like a 2-1 versus a 1-3, a 1-1 versus a...
Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry, what I mean dead in like the there's no reason to play them sense until we can like give them food. AKA, let's leave up Salvation. What I can do is I can Salvation the Bravekin duo and then have another flyer.
Yeah.
And try to just, look, what if I overwhelm you with flying threats, right? Like.
And I mean, red-black, not very good at dealing with that unless they have their own flyers. So.
Correct.
Okay. -1 until end of turn, so they're going to kill your Star Charter. But after they target it, you can Salvation Swan, so long as
You control
you
without
can't
flying.
do the flyer. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. That doesn't work. Go to combat. Come on.
There's no reason for them to actually attack with those, and you know it.
I do. I'm thinking if this matters.
It does apply a +1/+1, so it doesn't really matter if it's flying or not.
Yeah. Because I care about doing it this way, where, like, we... Also, this would come back at the next end step, so, like... Now they can freely do this. And we are gonna make a 2-1 to trade with that ambusher. So the idea is that the Swan's a 3-turn clock right now. We also have perfect mono.
Yeah. That's all of the... Like, all you need is one more of any kind, and you can play...
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah. We have Banishing Light for large threat. We have... Warren Guard can actually attack sizably enough, so that's nice. Alright, we're gonna... So they're gonna play some sort of trick here. Worst case is 1 mana +2/+0 and lifelink and indestructible.
You mean the thing they just played?
Yeah, worst case is that they play that and gain a bunch of life. That'd be like, if they did something like that, that'd be horrible.
It would be funny, though, because you said it.
Hold on.
And therefore it worked.
Hold on, I'm checking the tapes.
It is always funny when you call out the exact card they're going to play the moment that they play it. Yeah. And that's why it works. That's why it happens. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't funny.
The part that sucks there is that there's not really any, like, counter play in that position that I could have gone with.
No, of course not.
Because, like...
2/2 and indestructible. Like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. Makes me feel that Red Scion does that defeat enough that he also does it to himself. It's true. Alright, let's get you out of here. Dagger. So every draw is currently live, as far as like playability. We have 2 creatures, so even the insects are 6. Okay, Rat Berserker.
I see where you're coming off on that. It's if you're going to swing in and it was going to get kill something anyway, it would be a trade regardless. And the 1/1 is not going to do all that much when that's a what?
Yeah, so they got their land off fire. Fireblast Mentor here, really good. It's, if opponents lost life on the turn.
Ooh, there's your other Star Charter. That's more flying threats.
Okay. Ping me. Ping me right now. Come on. Oh, come on. I wanted them to ping me right there because then we could have gotten... Because Star Charter is like life loss or life gain on your own. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Alright.
Misunderstood how it worked.
I think they thought it needed to be in play to see that. I think we still are like dead as hell is one of the problems here. The duos are putting some pretty heavy time pressure on us, and there's also like
Okay.
All right.
Now the Stoat does have lifelink.
Yes, that's our way to like buy out of this. Do I need to kill this Fireglass Mentor?
Do they kill you faster with okay, what's the difference in the clock?
7 and 6, which is like one additional. I think I need to do this. Because the difference between 7 and 6 is actually... Yeah, so they get another one of these. I don't think either of those cards are playable because I think they played their land already for turn. Okay.
Bushy Bodyguard can eat once?
Yes.
Yeah. That actually does matter and help quite a lot.
Let's press. So
if they're gonna have a removal spell, it's actually, I would assume actually it probably is more important to get rid of the Stoat than it is to get rid of the Flyer.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at what that auto tapper's trying to do in the back.
That preventing you from playing the Stoat? Get out of here.
That's correct. Literally no other plays. Literally nothing. Literal.
And it would make it so that you wouldn't be able to play your card. That's unbelievable.
That literal. All right, we're going to forage onto our biggest body here because the 1/1 is the like is if the 1/1's trading, it's gonna trade with this 2/1. We're gonna get rid of everything that isn't named Star Charter. Thanks, Star Charter.
Yeah, getting you the Stoat.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing is that this might just be enough to like try to push forward and like kill if we can move from there. We also have a decent amount of like food generation, things like that we might be able to get to gain enough life to keep us some extra turns. Our problem is we're dead to 2 spells.
Kills
we're dead to 2 spells.
Yes.
We're at 5. 2 spells kills us. Don't have 2 spells, please. Are they just going to go to post-combat and see if Fireglass Mentor? Yeah, that's what we're doing. That makes sense. All right, land.
Nice.
That's what we had. That's what we needed to see. Okay. Okay. What do we want to draw?
Saver would be nice.
Saver would be really nice. Sonar? Sonar can't gain us life because we don't have a bat, but it would still be really good. Oh, shit.
Unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. So just eat your token.
I have to do it twice. That's offspring.
Okay. If you get rid of...
We can't lose the life because there's a duo that'll kill us if we take that damage, so we can't do that.
What about Banishing Light?
That gives them a 4/2.
4/2 is beat easily by the 2/2 lifelinker.
We don't untap here though.
Okay.
Like we need to kill them next turn. All right. Well, then all right. What's the card off the top that could do that? Is there any card in our deck that can kill them off the top? I'm going through cards in our deck. Because, like...
This is post-combat, so they can't swing in this turn.
No, they cannot.
They can only kill you with the duo. You have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, we have to sack something. Yeah, we're...
Having Sonar Strike, you're gonna get zapped twice. They have 2 attackers. They've got 3 attackers. You can kill one with Sonar Strike. Doesn't matter which. Stoat can block the 2-1. You'll go to 1 if you leave the Stoat back.
Yeah, and the reason I have to attack with the Swan is, like, I could leave the Swan back.
No, you can't leave the Swan.
No. Like, right, that's the thing. Our opponent needs to die.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, you're dead. That's it.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're out of this one. The pressure from those duos was enough to keep us just slowly dropping down.
2 pingers is solid.
Yeah, Strike can kill it because it's like attacking, blocking, or tapped or something like that is the sonar. But the problem there is that if I use that to kill the duo, then I just die in combat, like, visibly. And so I have to, like, my thought process for living there is I need to get my opponent to attack all out, kill something with the Stoat, kill another attacker with the sonar, and then, like, kill them on the crackback.
Yeah, mathematically from there, if you'd done that exact thing, you would have gone to 1 functionally, because, you know, your opponent would be able to just zap again on their upkeep.
Right, but
going to 1 is alive, so...
Then hopefully, like, we can kill through, this is a white land. Sonar Strike needs a bat for you to gain life.
Yeah, so if either of the other...
Okay, they've got a bell. Okay, so they grab their own forest. Ooh, Baker's Bane. I love Baker's Bane duo. It's a great one.
And there's Swamp, so you have perfect mana now. You can play both the Intrepid Rabbit and the Warren Guard.
I think it's, weirdly enough, I think it's just Warren Guard and then play the Intrepid Rabbit offspring to the follow-up turn.
So you can swing in as like a 5/4?
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha.
It looks a little funky, but I think it's better than the alternative because it lets me press really hard. We'll see what they've got. We've still got Banishing Light as a nice catch-all. You know, if Phineas were to appear, something like that, we're not, like, dead to it. Yeah, that's,
You could choose to double block. I don't know how useful that is. It probably isn't, but it is an option.
If they have a trick, I'd rather them burn it. They're not on 4 mana, so it can't be the duo, Cool. That's a trick I wanted them to burn. It can't be the pump from the Expend 4. But, like, right now, we're on 3 colors. I don't care about that ramp. Dead is also still... It's the same thing.
Yeah. Because you have the swamp, it is still... it's already what you wanted off of it.
Right. Like...
And that's even a better follow-up play, maybe? No? Okay, fair.
No, because this gets the token to give the Warren Guard its plus.
Yeah.
Just, like that. Okay. Overprotect, by the way, is a high priority trick, so, like, burning something like that feels nice. This card's unreasonable. Also...
Such a power stance on that frog.
Blor's defenses are impervious. Blor the Impervious. I adore this card.
Toadstyle allows you to take attacks from all kinds of weapons and not suffer damage. If used properly, it is invincible.
Okay, they can search another land. They didn't. They're just cycling this. I'm just gonna offer a trade with Rabbit and then play out, like... They did Banishing Light the 1-2 instead of the 3-2, yes. I don't agree with that choice, but it is a choice that you can legally make.
I think they may have misinterpreted it as giving counters to it.
Perhaps. Okay. Star Charter with Stoat is a way to trigger Star Charter, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a Banishing Light for problems. They didn't want to land off their bell, so they just wanted that as a cycling piece, which is what they're going to do here. That also means they're not off color. They don't have a black splash like us. They don't have anything like that going on. Okay. That's fine. Okay.
It's actually not bad.
Well, I'm going to go to combat. And if they trade with the Rabbit, that's a creature in the grave. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Hello!
6/6 Menace Death Touch.
So, if you have another Banishing Light, we are asking you. You need to cast it. Even if
And
you
if
do.
they don't have, and if they don't play 2 creatures, they also lose.
Yes. They need to have 2 blockers for this. Okay. You clearly have something. What's the punish? What's the play? What would it be? It's on you to prove it to me. Eat the food? Is that the play here?
Surprise Deer is
They would have to
double
tap
green,
out.
I believe.
Yeah, so they would have to tap there.
Which means I can't block the swarm with it.
We're passing.
Yeah, if they have like if they're digging for a wrath, then
Because if they play like a blocker, Banishing Light says that doesn't function. So
yes.
like that's fine. I don't want to throw our final creature into a Wrath of God because I don't think they'd gift us the goodie off of it. I like that card.
Okay.
That
2
makes
blockers.
That makes my O-Ring less effective.
But I mean, you also have a flyer. So.
Yeah, so... Alright.
And they're down to 4 on board. Means like they could...
They can't...
Is there a lifelink trick in white?
Oddly enough, no. It's black gets those...
Black usually is the one that gets lifelink tricks.
Yes.
I was just curious, like, if there was one to be able to make them survive.
So the white trick is... So the white tricks that exist are Crumb and Get It, which is +2/+2, gift for indestructibility.
There's a 2/1 for all your creatures.
Yep, 2/1 for all your creatures for 4. Okay. So they took lethal damage. There's a green trick that untaps a creature and gives it reach, which is kind of what I was expecting.
That one would be able to do it. Yeah.
There's another white trick that's +2/+2 to a creature and +1/+1 to another for 2. And then Overprotect, which we saw them burn earlier, which is +3/+3 trample indestructible hexproof, which is like, again, maybe the most premium trick that can exist. Like that card's just so out there. Yeah, the thing about using the overprotect there is that I wasn't presenting a trade. I was just bouncing an attack. I think that was too much.
Yeah, I don't think that using the overprotect was a good idea.
The only lifelink in Bloomburrow is the Stoat and the Scales. That's incredible.
Interesting. Okay. There's a lot of other life gain.
Yeah,
but it's like incremental life gain.
Yeah, tiny bits.
And food, obviously.
Yeah,
that's
probably why it's you don't want to overflow.
Yeah, it's like if you have too much food in your format, then like it can get incredibly grindy.
I don't think this works.
I think I hate this hand actually. I don't mind.
Okay, all right. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, you can just toss one forest down.
Yep.
You don't need double green ever, so like the one forest is all you want.
And we lead with not swamp in case we draw Phineas.
Mm-hmm. It's a little slow, but you are actually got a solid setup here.
Yeah, like we're looking fine. Yeah, I'm not blocking that. Ooh.
There you are.
Okay.
You have the Intrepid Rabbit.
Yeah. Like next turn, Rabbit plus Phineas up to big enough and then just walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Take some hits here. Yeah, that's
If
fine.
they play a backbreaker, you can banish and light it.
Yes.
Honestly, good draw.
Yeah.
So if you swing in, Phineas won't be able to survive.
That's correct. Phineas will trade with the Waxwing Witness. However, Phineas
she'll get +1+, or they'll, I don't know. Phineas will get +1/+1 twice.
Yes.
And then
+1/+1 to the rat. We'll get the card off it still.
True. You think that might be worth it?
Yeah. Especially because it pumps these two bodies.
Mm.
They're not falling for it, okay. Oh! They are!
They just let you kill something?
So I was representing 3-tree trick. That was why I was doing what I was doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I'm willing to trade with this. Yeah, that mana was everything. Phineas can't attack here anymore, but
In Banishing Light, the 3/4, you can play the bell just to play the bell.
yeah, I'm just cycling it.
And then you can swing with the 4/3.
Yep.
So, like, you bluffed your way to victory here.
I think so.
You got them to take
Fable passage.
Oh, neat.
That's a nice one. Gets untapped in case they have a splash. Red would be the guess. Uh-huh. I know.
Man, Eldraine cards are always so extra on Arena because they put so much effort into Eldraine. On Arena specifically.
Thinking about bar.
Wrong target.
It's probably fine to do that. So red, I was expecting the Baleen. I was expecting a play here that was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Swan. Now that can make it so that Phineas can attack.
Yeah, we don't have anything to pump right now. Well. Because Phineas, like, attacking pumps rabbits and tokens, and we don't control any of those right now.
You could. You just not right this second.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to build up towards it a little bit. It's two green-white decks playing against each other, splashing a color. It's going to be a slower game.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Okay, your opponent's no longer falling for it.
Fine. Fine. Cash grab? Peerless Recycling, gifting it. So that's pick up 2 permanents. Gifting it, giving me a card, of course.
So here's Nelguard back, and the
other card they can't play, so...
That Banishing Light, preventing that from happening, is very good. Exile removal, it's always nice.
Nettleguard, by the way, has a Naturalize on it, just as a heads up. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger than it looks. On that note... And step, we're trading a Nettleguard for a better creature.
You know, with the moving away from green vigilance a little bit in favor of blue vigilance, I'm surprised they haven't also started to give, like, menace to green a little.
Yeah, they've kept green with, like, the power 2 or less can't block.
Yeah, so it has its, you know, tallness,
Yeah.
the striding. I'd probably call that striding or something. Long legs.
When you think of a creature with Naturalize, what creature do you think of?
Oh, what's that? There's a fox that Kami of something.
Kami of Ancient Laws, destroy target enchantments. That's an old one.
Okay, then is it Kasali Pride Mage?
Yeah, Kasali Pride Mage. Yeah, there you go. The dinosaur that explodes. What's up?
Yeah, Kasali Pride Mage is definitely the one I think of. It's like that in that Kami, but I was just told that that's not a Naturalize, so that's fair.
So our opponent has the ability to sack their Nettleguard to... I think we let them take the trade here.
Taking the trade, I think ends up being that benefit. If they sack it, then you can Salvation Swan or something.
Yeah. But like here we can just go...
It's our turn, you have a 3/1 flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, and... Yeah, that's...
How many things are in your grave?
Oh, 3. So we can make a...
Yeah. Make a 4/3.
Yoink, yoink, yoink. And then the 1/1 is nice because it can get Death Touch from the Herbalist. And then we have a removal spell blocker.
That's annoying.
It's like a mine. That's a pain, but like not. Okay.
Okay. That's interesting. I wouldn't have taken that trade when you have 16 life.
Okay, we're gonna continue doing this. I guess they just are gonna keep playing bigger flyers at us. The token gets Death Touch, yes. That's how we're going to continue to attack here.
That ability is vaguely called Daunt. That's even though they made that playtest card and it's understandable, I feel like they probably won't ever actually make that into a keyword.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the number anywhere on it, you know? But understandable. That's probably what they call it internally for testing and stuff.
Yeah, which is important there. Alright, pushing damage.
You want to keep that in hand?
I do.
Because that'd be a great post-rat follow-up.
Even pre, in a like, oh, actually, check this out. Alright. Alright, that's annoying. Anyway.
Goodbye.
Guess what has 1 toughness?
Man, I love fucking with base toughness. It's such an interesting thing to do mechanically.
Thanks, Maha. Yeah, because that, so, to explain what happened.
Damage is only cleared at the end of turn, on the cleanup step. That means that if your toughness is reduced
base
post-combat, yeah.
Yeah. So you effectively treat this as though it was a written 6-1, and it had 3 damage, so goodbye, Moose.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Maha. Maha is one of my favorite cards in this set, like, flat. Has just, like, incredible everything. The art on it, the name, even the
also, elegant power level for being a, you know, this is 4 lines of text, very concise on all of it, and it's a powerful, interesting card.
Right. It's not, it's pretty simple on what it does.
Yeah.
Like, look, everything is dead to every touch. Like, you.
It basically says, functionally, give your opponent everything your opponent controls has death touch, but in a more interesting way.
Has a lot of, like, fun combinations you can build around. The protection is powerful without being, like...
Nice 7/7 indestructible, like Avacyn or whatever, who cares? I'm gonna play this and then safer. Whoops, I'm eating Avacyn now.
Right. Yeah, Fell and Dawn's Truce are also, like, the other 2 cards that have Maha. They are 2 of the other cards with Maha. There's another 1 or 2 I can think of. Or in arts, but Fell and Dawn's Truce are both also, like, really cool-looking cards and, like, really cool cards. Fell just being destroyed. So the secret about this hand is that it sucks.
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
This hand is terrible. It has no plays until turn 5. Cool.
Guess
you lose in that time period.
Guess what had... Do you remember that part where I killed an opponent on turn 4?
Yeah, that could just happen to you.
Also, one of the most likely outcomes for this hand, even if I don't die, is like land go, land go, land go, land go, land Maha, and our opponent, who has not had to deal with a threat, goes, I can use my first removal spell.
And yeah, sure, I have to discard a land to make it hit, but who cares? This is a great hand. Toss the bodyguard down and then,
that's what I'm
grab
thinking.
Your black.
Yep. Bodyguard this early. Like, we already have a 2, so, like...
And Stoat and Swan, like, Stoat is a great thing to Swan.
Yes, get a flying lifelink for Striker. So, like, drawing a land here is a bit of an annoying thing, but we do need to search the black, and we will be able to draw it back off, so... We don't play the forest because we don't need to reveal that color yet.
Yeah, you're lying to your opponent, which is a thing that's always good to do.
Okay.
Is beaten by Stoat.
If we draw Saver, this is wrong. If we draw Phineas, this is right, which is what... And Phineas is the more powerful move there.
Now you can beat us in
oh my god, okay.
Oh, no, you can't. You can just swing on it anyway.
Come on in.
Water's fine. Keep on swinging in. It's gonna be great.
Sure.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's good. Yeah.
You even get to block the 2-3-1? Yeah, nice.
It's not an instantaneous return, but...
Yeah.
Anyway. Hi. Ooh.
You can use that to get the other black.
Yeah. I'd rather keep the pressure up here. We're at 24. I don't need to be blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hidden Grotto. This is like a fine style of Shimmering Grotto. The Surveils.
Oh no!
This is like the second or
I
third
have to go.
This is the second or third
Hold on a
printing
second.
of this card. This was in Outlaws of Thunder Junction as exact text. So.
Hold on a second. I didn't know that card existed.
Yeah.
Boost this open. Sorry, I made this card and then they made it like not too long afterwards.
Well, no, I think this is like the third. Like we've had this one. At least Outlaws had it. I know that one for certain. Play a 4
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but yeah. They didn't use the same card. This is a different version of it. Have you looked, by the way, at Red White in the most recent set?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just
It's gonna keep happening.
I know. And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Rename Glittering Grotto to Hidden Grotto as it now currently is extant and exists.
Yep. Our opponent's been off black. That's the, I see. Oh, they're also dead. Sorry, you needed that blocker. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was aware of Crystal Grotto.
Yeah, that one's Scry. Then there's I want to say like Pylons, something Pylons from Thunder Junction. It looks like you'd think it might be a desert, but it's not a desert.
Howling Gale Fang. A beast.
Conduit Pylons, thank you. I remembered Pylons because that's just what I called it. But yeah, the red white in Duskmoor and
Yeah,
that's
Conduit Pylons just exist. I think the thing is that they've realized, wait, we want to make that card into a grotto.
Oh, it is a desert. Okay, I for some reason I thought it wasn't a desert, but that would make sense why we're not using it here. Okay.
Like yeah. Also, those cards are called grottos now. It's a little unfortunate that if they didn't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want your double? You have a double black card in hand.
Yeah,
you do have a double white card that exists, but also I think that might actually be white. That's green white hybrid, so you can actually play it off of green and white. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm gonna go black in case we lose our Root Weaver. Okay. Yeah, I thought it wasn't. I thought there was a land in that set that like wasn't a desert, and I was like, oh, that's weird that that's not a desert. But I might just be wrong in what I'm thinking. Bird City.
Bird City.
All right. Bird City. But yeah. Oh.
Nice. Kill them. You don't have a particularly fast hand.
Yeah.
Kill them. Saber will let you turn on Star Charter.
It's true. I don't know.
God, they had to discard. I'm so sorry, friend.
Off-white. Uh... Decline, and then... Okay.
Nice.
I could leave up Saver, but I'd rather hit damage.
They never want to print Fate Seal again.
Yeah, that's,
Fate Seal is so unpleasant to play against that they'd never want to do it again.
I'm so sorry. Oh, God! They kept the two-lander and it just blew the hell up. Oh!
Happens.
So,
that's gonna happen.
The 3-tree city play there was kind of telling of, I don't have another land. Because this is like a colorless land. Like, you play this last, right? Like, this is...
Yeah.
Oof.
Unless you have in your hand a blue one.
Right. And
bird,
you're like trying to hide it or something. But, like... Oof.
Well, this has been going extremely well.
Yeah, we're making mulligan decisions pretty aggressively. We got it. We need to make sure but I think the big thing is that we actually have enough fixing in the deck to pull this off.
Yeah, and you also won a game off of bluffing, which is also beautiful.
I'm so happy about that. If they just took the double block, like, it would have been the same outcome, but Phineas is dead, right? Like, so... Alright. Ooh. Ooh.
You have the bell. That makes this way better than it looks.
I thought this hand was unkeepable, and then I saw a 3-tree Root Weaver. I'm like...
Yeah, this is actually a pretty solid hand. It has 4 mana available to it right here.
Yeah. Also, Stoat plus Star Charter is a nice, like... setup. Okay. Our opponent born in the year 1913. We don't have a lot of, like, synergy for Star Charter, but 3-power Flyer has just kind of done work. So, that's nice. I love this Plains.
Good dog.
Yeah, just... dog hanging out, chilling. Okay, they're on...
They're on a nice slow start. That's good for us.
Yeah, so... we get to 3-tree, next turn we get Star Charter, and then... okay, 1-1. Ooh.
Maha as an additional follow-up play eventually. Okay.
So I think I'm going to change off of the Star Chart play.
Gonna do Warren Guard and Stoat?
Yeah, because then I can sack the bell, draw, and two hits at that. So... and this doesn't look this doesn't look weird because, like, it... you know,
yeah, it just looks like you're playing out your hand.
Yeah. So, Looter, by the way, incredible card. Incredible little friend here.
That's an unblockable. This is basically like a Looter El Core, really.
Yeah, Looter El Core that's unblockable, can block, and if you have Threshold, doesn't discard.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a... that's nice. These are some nice land choices out of our opponent. Okay, alright. Sure.
Yeah, they didn't bother to gift that
I
for good
know.
reason.
I know.
Nice.
So
Hey, nice 4-1, idiot.
So yeah, now I just like play this and attack with Stoat, I think.
You could even like trick them the same way you did before.
I would trade
But-
the Stoat, and I kind of want to keep it.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know, swinging in multiple things, but you're right.
Yeah. Because the seasoned Warren Guard right now has Death Touch, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And next turn we can play Star Charter. Stoat can gain us life, and we can start finding more things. Killing
And
Maha.
green-blue is unlikely to just be able to kill Maha outright, so...
Okay, the white means they could Banishing Light.
Okay.
That would discard a card for it, but they could do it. And then Banishing Light's something we can answer. There's also a punch that's like deal double damage. A Polywallop. It's target creature deals double damage to another creature for 4. Flat, like they'd have to be paying 4 for it. Most options I can think of that answer Maha are full turn at this stage. Attack with Looter, try to find better answers. That makes sense. That's a good move. Okay, discard the Mana Dork. Okay, so Dream, Do, and Transfer I talked about earlier is a Muldrifter style card. This is a card that you can target a creature, stun it 3 turns. If it's your creature, draw 2 cards.
But the idea is that, given that it's green-blue, you can just pick up the card and stun.
Or you pick up this.
So you can ignore the stun.
There's many ways to sidestep it. If they want to stun Maha here, they have to discard a card for it.
And it doesn't turn off Maha's ability anyway, which
That's
is
correct.
the more valuable thing. Yeah, I mean, 6/5 flyer trample.
Okay,
obviously
so
really
instead,
valuable, but
we are pushing that route. Okay. We've now reached a point where I can now ask the question, what am I giving +1/+1 to?
rabbit, bird, mole.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, weasel means you gain more life off of it.
Yeah.
You have more rabbits than anything else. That's true.
Yes.
You could even choose a bat for Star Charter as a 4/2.
Yeah.
But
This is, by the way, this is playable because Star Charter is 4. This will make a mana.
the on-board strongest effect on it is Weasel, but I think the long-term most powerful would probably be rabbits.
Maybe
but even
bat.
then, maybe bat. Like make Star Charter into a 4/2, makes it survive things better.
Yeah. I'm gonna go bat.
And you do have a second Star Charter, so
Yes. If I attack with Maha, they double block.
yeah.
I'd rather just attack with Stoat and then get the lifelink and have Star Charter kind of buy us more. Hello. And like that's a reason maybe to just call it Rabbit is knowing that that was going to be around the stuff like that's around the corner. I just want to diversify flying threats is my thought process here.
Yeah, I guess the
God,
other
there's
part, though, is
there's
that
a
they do have
lot
a lot of reach.
They do, but like that's something that like will be answered as time goes on here. It's boy, this is
a very complicated episode you've created.
yeah. Now I'm thinking Rabbit was the right choice. You giving me the gift for okay, never mind. Didn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
It was whatever it was enough for them to want to gift us to that. Thanks, Nelson. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate it.
And for what it's worth, you even drew a different card that it creates tokens as well. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Haven. We're gonna go in with these.
Okay, they could now kill the Stoat by triple blocking it.
I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think the Warren Guard is something that where you just sort of are. Okay, so this is great. Star Charter goes off. Notable Wix Patrol and Banishing Light to the bottom, but I think Intrepid Rabbit is really great here.
Intrepid Rabbit would
Or is that, sorry, is that bottom or shuffle? That's bottom. Okay.
2 4-1s. Rabbit would let Maha swing as an 8. No, would still die.
Yeah, still died.
I mean, Stowe would be able to just say, I don't care what you're doing right now.
Yeah, honestly, like, we're
and you
able...
can swing it with all of your 1/1s.
Okay,
Easy.
+1/+1 counters do function.
Yes.
And ramp. Okay.
So I think that does mean you put the +1/+1 on the Stowe.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, you can kill everything with that if you do it. Why do you want to pay? I guess in this case it doesn't matter, but it's doing all of the whites.
Okay, so I'm thinking 1 on Stoat, 1 on this bunny.
Trying to specifically bait out like a double block on the Stoat.
I would just accept a double block on the Stoat. Okay.
I think actually, now that I look at the board state, even if they blocked everything, the Stoat would survive. Never mind.
Yeah, because that was why. Because like if they block with all, we
Yeah.
kill these two, and the Plume Creed is our.
They are playing white. Those would be amazing follow-ups to a Wrath.
Yeah. Let's just take the Star Charter. So they get their looter next turn. They don't have threshold though. That fights.
Man, Maha has been completely destroying their board.
Yes.
Right? Like, they played so many big, like, for this set, big creatures, and they're just gonna all die to a token.
If they want to trade with Maha, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
With them at what they're at, I'm fine with the board trades that occur here. Phineas, by the way, needs to attack to get its trigger. I'm leaving bet the 3-treat Root Weaver so I can play 2 green cards on my turn here.
Yep. Opponent has extremely interesting blocks to make.
Fun thing, Maha tramples.
Yep.
So we have like damage thresholds here that are pretty sick for us. Like this is still lethal. This is... Oh, should I have attacked with that 3-tree? Uh-oh. Did I... Maha and all creatures will die simultaneous. They will get their toughness back, but like all of the combat damage happens at the same time, see? Whoop. I didn't do the math. Oops, indeed. Oh well. I'm feeling reasonably confident about our position.
even if they do Wrath here, you have a great follow-up. It does, so even it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay. This time we can all attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Math for attackers? Yeah, that showed the power of Maha just in combat. So yeah, like as you saw there, creatures will get their toughness back when Maha dies, but in combat, like all of that damage happens simultaneously. So like whatever happens that would kill Maha in combat will also kill whatever has 1 toughness, right?
Yep.
With the caveat of First Strike being very funny. Because it'll kill before that sort of things. So yeah, they both happen at the same time. State-based effects are checks. Everything dies, and then after everything dies, the toughness effect is gone, so everything goes back up to where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
This deck was a blast.
You pivoting was entirely correct.
As I talked about as we made the choice, it's maybe my favorite part of Limited is the like reading the waves of the sea as it passes you by.
7-1's a hell of a success for any draft.
Yeah. Couple different choices we could have made. Scavenger's Talent is something we could have gone a little deeper in just on build. We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a card that works very strongly for the like squirrels because it makes free food. And then mills your graveyard on sack, so it sets up everything. Yeah. Alright. Let's take a look at... One thing I have sitting around to talk about as well is... So the week that...
Alchemy.
So the week that there was an Alchemy draft available on... What do you mean it's already over? I know, we had 8 games. Alchemy draft was available on MTGA for a week with the Bloomburrow Alchemy cards, which just happened to be the week that I was just completely out of it with COVID. So
yeah.
that I couldn't stream it and that disappeared. So we can talk about the Alchemy cards. I did play a draft with it at like the last day or at the back of it. I was like half lucid, and I died to Embercleave. That's a thing that can happen to you.
Really?
Yeah! You want to die to Embercleave in Bloomburrow Limited? Yeah. But yeah, love the Stoat. This is fun because this is such like a generic card, and I love it. Like it's like
yeah.
This is just it's Knight of the Meadow Grain, but like lesser mana. This card does one thing, and it has a million lines of text to do it.
This is one of these.
Yeah.
Look at the top X for the first time. We can put something with it. Yep.
This has too many riders. It's so...
If you don't put it on the battlefield, put it in your hand, put the rest of the bottom... Yeah.
It does one thing. Top 5...
It's a very complicated if-else, but for doing one thing.
Yeah. Whereas, like, the Osteomancer Adept is your creatures have flashback, and
yeah,
this is scary as hell. This cat's cool. This cat is the sun, firing beams. It's also just like, look, life gain's off, damage is on, and it has like a shared Anathemancer effect. You like Bob?
Of course.
You like 2 of them? How many Bobs are too many Bobs?
God. Is this a more extreme Bob than the Bob I made?
I love this Bob for like, look, Bob and son. Yeah. I love this.
I thought I made an extreme bob when I made a bob with haunt.
That keeps coming back, yeah.
But this one is 2 bobs.
Kidnap, just very cute. I love the like fluffy cloud that our buddy's sitting on. It's also like a kind of neat question on the mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just want it out of the way, just fine, whatever. But if you like need it, like you can pay for it. I think Jackdaw Saver would have been good in our deck.
It would have,
Like,
for sure.
We had a lot of like just low bodies, like Weasel and Squirrels.
You got the Swan as well.
Yeah.
Which, like, creatures you control with flying die as well. Flying counters counts.
Mm.
But even and you pick the Saver over it. The Saver did come up at least. I think actually Saver was played only once that entire draft.
Yeah, it was needed for that turning around the aggro match, but we did have.
But
two
it would have
of
been
them,
playable in your deck,
Yeah,
and
we
it
had
would
two-
have showed up in it.
We did have 2 of them as well, and I don't think we were playing the second. This card's sweet. Really big, like Jeskai Ascendancy on the last line there.
Yeah.
Very dangerous to play into this because, like, untap your team and pump it is very big. The Valley cards all reference multiple creature types. The way they get away with this is that it's all of the blue aligned ones. Birds are blue-white birds, blue-green frogs, blue-red otters, and blue-black rats. That's the easy way to keep it in mind. It still can be a pain to keep these in check and what overlaps on them if you're not, like, familiar with all that.
You can also think that of, like, birds and things that can swim easily,
It's true.
Rats are actually quite good swimmers, so.
Speaking of rats.
Motherfucking relentless rats. Let's go.
Rats.
Rats off to you.
Just literal relentless rats. The card named Relentless Rats. You can have it. Not plague rats. We're not that far back.
And not pack rats.
No.
Because get that shit out of here. Should not ever be extant in a limited format.
Put pack rat in your limited format. All right, let's.
There's nothing funnier to me than the fact that you have actually I have heard before at least once, I believe from you, of lost a pack rat being a viable reason to get your draft refunded on NTGO.
You had to get the right person on your
on
your redeem, but you could do it. Yes. All right, let's take a look at some alchemy cards from this set. The big thing we're going to get looking at alchemy cards is we get to look at some new arts and some. I'm not as big on some of the specific designs in alchemy. I think in this one, I think some of them rely too much on the spell book, and I think that's not great. But here we've got Traverse Valley, Kicker Forage, which is cute. Makes it like rampant growth. Also, the fact that this grabs a non-basic at random from your deck. If you only have like one non-basic and you just want like 3-Tree City, this will grab 3-Tree City. So
fantastic art on it as well.
Yes.
Elemental horse.
We have a Thunder Junction horse. Though we see our small mice trying to that are getting blown away in the deserts. Whenever a player plays a desert, that player draws a card, and you, controller of the horse, gain 3 life. Also, you just fill your opponent's deck and your deck with deserts. Here's some trash. Pool resources is a fun,
excellent pun of a name.
Yes.
It's, pooling your resources together, and also it's resources from a pool.
I'd also like to note that this is, that's an instant.
Yeah.
That's 3 mana inspiration that you can also just make, draw 2 non-lands if you really want. That's pretty good. One of my favorite alchemy cards in this set, I love this one, Shellfish Scholar. Whenever it or a rat comes in to play, Put a Think Twice in your grave. And then Threshold, tap, your spells from your grave cost 2 less.
Yeah, so they just become blue, draw a card.
Yeah. I just love, like, this as a way to get towards Threshold is just fill your graveyard with Think Twices when you play Rats.
Mm-hmm.
Cindercone Smite is, like, more powerful. Like, you get the coin if you were
if
going second.
this is a...
Which makes this, like, pretty powerful because it effectively makes it cost 0, like fitting it into weaving it into a turn. This frog,
Emperor's
yeah, just with offspring, so you do it twice on like the play. And the important thing about this card for the frog deck, it's perpetually, which means it doesn't like wear off when you play the card and bounce it again. So if you get this discount on one of your cards that you are flickering back and forth in and out of your hand repeatedly, like that Dream Dew or something like that, can get very silly very quick. Tasteful Offering. You get
for the first time, I'm seeing a boon card that makes sense to be a boon card.
Yeah, because it's like a long-term track.
Yeah, and it's 2 times specifically, whereas almost every other boon card is just is 1 time, and it's like you've made cards that do that already though. Of next time this happens, do this.
Yeah, there's one of them, and they printed a couple of them in paper. In Mystery Booster 2, which is a product that they have for convention drafts. They printed a few of the alchemy cards in paper. Oracle of the Alpha, which shuffles all the Power 9 into your deck, or the one that shuffles 4 lightning bolts in your deck, which is the one this one's pretty cute.
Love the Power 9 one purely for people like thinking about it and then realizing, wait, the 5 Moxen being put in your deck is actually a downside.
Yeah, well, until you draw the Time Twister, at which point it becomes like it's one of the things that's crazy about it, because like usually Time Twister is like the 9th on that list, but in that scenario it becomes way better.
In a lot of ways, Time Twister is sometimes like the 10th on the Power 9 list, honestly.
This one's weird. So this is a like tiny Phyrexian Rager / Elvish Visionary that scales based on the number of times it enters play. Or other copies of it. So if you keep recurring this, or you play multiple copies, you draw 2, draw 3, lose 2, lose 3, etc. This has my I love Gift of Aristudy.
So funny.
That's so good. So, Archival Laurel here is shuffle your hand engraved in your library, draw 7. And
Time Twister.
It's Time Twister. And if you don't gift, your opponent also gets the Time Twister.
Yeah.
I'd like to note that one-sided Time Twister is one of the most powerful things you can do in Magic. Just heads up. Like that's a draw 7. But gifting Aristic Study is so funny because, like, now that you've drawn all those cards, it is a slowdown. I'm like, oh god, do I like give them 2 cards and, like, or do I have a way to kill the Aristic Study and play? It's so cute. I love gift Aristic Study, which visible card right there. That's a.
I feel like this is reasonably easy to play, so long as you're playing also green or white, or even black these days.
Yeah.
Because any enchantment removal makes this extremely easy to just one-sided Time Twister.
Yep. Yeah. What a 3-tree battalion. This is a really cool card. One of my favorites on the specific designs for alchemy here.
It's kind of Collected Company, but for 3, and it creates a 1/1 copy instead of putting 2 on. Right?
Yeah, well, Collected Company was 3 as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
This is the same as Collected Company, but rather than getting 2, you get 1, and you get a duplicate of the other.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes it so like if you only see the one, you get that, but you know, like you get a double of the second one, and it's a real,
You only need to hit
Yeah.
one card off of your Coco
Right.
to get
yeah,
two,
you get
but
it
the
off.
other one is weak. So it's
Yeah.
it's a fun card. It's like it's not even like distinctly technically weaker. It's a side grade. It's just that the highs of Collected Company is higher than this.
Yep.
But this has a stronger bottom line.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
well, okay. Technically, they both have the same bottom line of whiffing all six.
Yeah, with all six, but like this one on the hit one is way better.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your upkeep, instants and sorceries in your hand gain this spell costs one less to cast. Sacrifice this enchantment, conjure a card from its spellbook into your hand. There's only 3 cards in the spellbook, so it's a lot easier to keep in mind. It's Storm's cards.
It's red Storm cards.
It's Grape Shot, it's Empty the Warrens, it's Relay. Relay's the exile play one. So this is just, it's time to set up the Storm turn where I kill you with Grape Shot or I kill you with Empty the Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
Just is silly. The Dark Star Banisher. This one is a...
Okay, it permanently gets rid of the thing and you exile with it, but they get to dig up something similar.
Yeah, they get to get something similar on the on leave. Important with how this ends up playing is that it doesn't, like, if you hit a token with this, there's nothing on leave because there was nothing. There's no exiled card. But like this works as the fact that this hits non-land permanent makes it really nifty, because sometimes you might just hit, like, if you hit the Banishing Light, they might just not have a second enchantment to grab. And also just like...
Also, more proof to me for me that white-black cares about non-land permanents.
They get... Yeah, that's true. I would like spell
I just feel like I've had to justify a white-black future sight for only non-land, for everything that's not a land, to multiple people, and I feel like I'm in the right with this.
For me, it's that they care about that they have the ability to remove all of those. It's harder to me to say that white-black cares about, like, artifacts, right?
White occasionally does.
Sure, you've got the tertiary color and the null color. You gonna tell me
yes.
that, like that's the, like, everything.
It's not hybrid, all right? It's just a white card that is white and black.
But yeah, like we do have a lot of, like, non-land permanent removal in the setup.
Yeah.
I would like the spellbook cards a lot more if they had themes like this. Yeah, same. If we end up finding some of the other spellbook cards, whenever a boar you control attacks, each non-land card in your opponent's hand gains when you cast a spell, lose 1 life. Sure, it's a boar.
Basically gives them all extort, sort of.
Yeah, like you have to pay life to cast your spells. Also, big life linker, which, as we established, just doesn't exist in this format. So this one's incredible. The Ace Flockbringer. When you cast a creature without flying, put a duplicate of it in your hand that has flying.
Nice.
Once per turn. Like just, you know what I want? Double up and my double to have a flyer. Like, woof.
Or 2.
Lands enter untapped. At the beginning of your end step, the topmost land in your library gains, whenever this land is tapped for mana, add an additional green. What?
Weird. Just makes all of the lands closest to the top always add an extra. And I guess it makes it so, like, the longer you go without drawing a land, that land just becomes, like, super.
Yeah, okay, so like, if you play Vigorous Farming, when you draw your land, you get all the land drops you missed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, like, say you play this on 3, you miss your 4, you miss your 5, and then you draw a land for 6. It's got +2 on it.
Mm.
And then you have a land that taps for, like, 3 mana. Okay. That's funky.
It's interesting.
Now, what's our...
Ah, yeah, let's talk about this guy.
Your Acorn Scrounger. When Acorn Scrounger enters, you can forage. If you do, conjure Chitter Spitter, which is a card from... Was this Modern Horizons 2? Anyway, whenever a squirrel you control deals combat damage to a player, you can sacrifice a token. If you do, put it...
Horizons 2.
If you
That's
do,
the one that cared about squirrels, yeah.
yeah. If you do, put an acorn counter on each permanent you control named Chitter Spitter, and all squirrels get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on it. So, it's very silly. Just shoots out little acorns. That's neat. Ooh. Alright, any other harbingers, scholars. Thought rattle.
Oh man, that rat is really going through it.
A rattle. This one's worded really weird to me. Target opponent reveals each non-land in their hand. Choose one of those cards, exile it.
I think that the reason why it's worded that way is because you couldn't do this in paper.
Yes.
Because the opponent could theoretically just lie about what's non-land in their hand.
Correct.
So it has to do those. I understand why it's worded this way.
Yeah.
It is weird though.
Yeah. Because like it's less information, and then the second part of it is that it seeks a rat that costs one less because it's the rat. Oh.
Yeah.
We're rattled. This bird is getting rattled.
I think functionally though, not revealing the lands is such a, yeah,
it's a tiny
minor thing that they would never print this card in paper because it's like just make it so that you see the entire hand and then you just go and get to choose a non-land. Yeah.
Well, it's this way because it can be this way.
Exactly. Yeah. This is them flexing. This is alchemy doing what only alchemy can do because they kind of have to sometimes.
Sanguine Soothsayer. Flying Lifelink. When Sanguine Soothsayer attacks, conjure a Sanguine Bond into the top 15 at random. Oh, God.
And it's free.
And it's free, and you draw. Okay, so it puts a Revenge Sanguine Bond into your deck?
Yes. Top 15 random. You can get this immediately.
It puts the Revenge Sanguine Bond. For those who didn't play Eternal,
the unbelievably frustrating mechanic in Argenport in, I believe, set 3 of Eternal was Revenge, which is when this card is destroyed, I think.
Yep.
It instead goes into the top 10 at random in your deck. This can be from 1 through 10. It only happens once, except on one legend named Mokto, who has the extremely good text of your Mokto's Revenge never ends, but also the extremely frustrating text of Mokto's Revenge never ends.
Yeah.
Because top 10 is so swingy. it is so ridiculously swingy.
Because it plays exactly like this, where it's 0 cost and draws a card on draw. It auto plays.
Yes.
So, okay.
Spend your removal spell for him to just come back instantly both times.
Yep. Or spend your removal spell and it never shows up again.
Yep. It's just very swingy and annoying.
I've definitely Moktoed. Add 2 mana. Only use it to cast instance. When you cast a third spell, exile a random card from your library. It's free.
All right.
Sure. This is a dive otter, like. Yeah, the little helmet. Cute. Okay, so triple spell. Ah, here it is. The practical beach lizard. Whenever Marshland, Horde Master, or another lizard enters, this gains Battle Cry. That stacks.
Multiple instance of battle cry stack, yeah.
Horde Master, another lizard you control dies. Target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay.
Is battle cry the most specific keyword ability in the game for what it does? I feel like +1/+0 for all of your other creatures, 2 words. It just feels like that to me, you know?
Yeah, like there's probably some that are more niche.
Yeah.
The fact that Bushido has a number.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. This gets out of control very fast, huh? Ah! This one's cute. Whenever a creature with flying... By the way, this card does not have flying base, as a note. Whenever a creature you control with flying enters, if this card is named Awestruck Signet... Signet?
Signet, yep.
Yeah. Cards you own gain 1. If you hit 3, it becomes a 5/4 Radiant Swan with Flying Vigilance.
Yeah, a signet is a baby swan.
Yeah, you can, like, with the... You see the blue, like, scarf that our buddy has down there. You can
Obviously, this is one that becomes stronger in multiples of signets because they just become 1 mana 5/4 flying vigilance.
Yes. Mockingbird is the card that unlocks these in some wild ways, because Mockingbird becomes a copy of a card, but it has flying itself. So it triggers it immediately. Azorius Signet. This one does not tap for... Okay. So Bramble Armor Brawler here is really cool, but it has a secret line of text. So Bramble Armor Brawler, 4 mana, 5/5, can't be countered, trample. When your opponent casts a non-creature spell, creatures in your library get +1/+1, which effectively means, like, no matter what they do, you have to hand off the +1/+1 to your library with this.
Mm-hmm.
The last line of text that you don't see on here is that after you play this card, you're never drawing a creature. I'm sorry. You're just never drawing a creature. They're gone. They all disappeared. Yep. I don't know where they went.
Yeah,
sorry.
you played,
on break.
You played 16 creatures in your deck or whatever. When you play this, it removes them all from your deck.
They're on break. This thing's huge and very, like, even if you answer it, it still gets its effect in most cases. So... This card's busted in half. Okay. Leaf Leap Guide. Blue-green for a 1/1 Vigilance. When another creature enters play, Leaf Leap Guide and that creature both perpetually get +1/+1. 1 tap, bounce a creature you control.
At least it's another, so it can't bounce itself.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
But, like, anything. This, like, it buffs, like, this gets out of control huge and has vigilance wildly. You can bounce, like, Fountain Port Charmer and make all your cards cheap and nothing, or you can bounce where's our good friend? Even something like Sun Shower Druid, and it gets very silly. If this is kill on sight. The one I do want to pull up, because I did mention a specific card. Let's go to collection. Let's go to Alchemy Bloomburrow, both. We missed a couple cards. This is the card that so, Recruit Instructor. Whenever one or more mice you control attack, draft a card from its spellbook. This is one of those spellbooks that's, 15 card spellbook. And then when it's targeted, make a mouse. This spellbook is, as you'd expect, it's everything that targets. It's every, no, I want to, oh god, How do I... There we go. So, like, some of these are just, like, Shield Counter, Scry 1, Cheeky Mouse, Crumb and Get It, Defiant Strike, you know, the classics of Heroic.
Yeah.
That's up.
Interesting. Interesting.
That one's normal, right?
That's it's extremely normal, yeah.
You know, next to, like, +2/+2 and, like, Might of the Meek. It's like, you know... Like, just some, like, yeah, here's some tiny bits, and then just like, also, sometimes you die. It's just over. Look, sorry, you're dead. Yeah.
Embercleave is one of the most, I play this, you lose cards in the game of Magic, so...
Yeah, this one here has just a bunch of cards with Spectacle, because Spectacle matches the Lizard play style of, like, you know, dealing damage.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of like random cards with Spectacle. Light Up the Stage, Rixmati Reveler, Skewer. Just... Yeah, these are the spell books I'm not a fan of. They're way too big and they're way too variant.
It's... Spellbooks being enormously large is always a pain. It means it...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember everything that the recruit does, except for the fact that it has Embercleave in it.
Yeah. Guess which card they got. This card rules.
Oh, it's Embercleave.
this card rules. When Idris comes into play, put a lightning bolt in your deck that has Storm.
That rules.
Just prepare, like.
You will die. A lightning bolt with Storm is the most powerful card in Magic. You will die.
just yup. You're gonna, oof. And then
when this card enters my hand, you lose.
Yeah, when I finally get there, like, your life ends. Yeah.
Oh god, no, way better than Grape Shot for fuckers. Cutting the amount of work you have to do to kill your opponent to a third with Grape Shot. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then the collector, that a random non-food permanent in your graveyard becomes a food, and then you can eat it you can play that card as long as it's in your graveyard.
Nice.
Just make things foods. But yeah, so
I not eat the food.
These are always kind of wild alchemy cards. They've gotten better on the design of them, but there's still stuff that I look at and go, come on. In this set, I liked this because it gives a little bit more, like, okay, we can have a little bit extra raccoons or otters and a little bit more for them to do. Anyway, that's Bloomburrow. I'm glad we got a sweet draft of that.
Yeah, that was a really sweet draft.
So, all right. Anyway, I guess we'll see what we end up doing next week. Next week's the last week before Duskmourn's release, so we might hit one more Bloomburrow. We might hit some other bits. Whom can say? But 2 weeks from today is Duskmourn's release. We'll definitely be drafting that on release. Seeing how that plays. That's been being spoiled over the last few days. But yeah. Yeah, thanks, Doc, for jumping in. Glad that you were able to catch a draft of this set.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It was a good time.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you want to catch more, you can always follow. See when I go live. Weekdays, 7 Central. But if you're just here having a good time, A+. Tomorrow, we're finishing up Dragon Quest VI. It should be the last session for that, which means the week after is when Rocket Slime starts. Looking forward to that. And then we'll be doing some more Slay the Spire on Friday. So, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm doing a marathon Thursday. I decided, for no particular reason, that I'm doing 4 marathons this month.
Because you're doing because, like, there should be one upcoming in, like, 2 weeks, right? Or week and a half?
Oh, yeah, on the 22nd as
Yes.
well. And then also one, I think, on the 28th. I think I said.
There will be.
So I'm gonna be doing the sequel to September, which is on Thursday, and then the Rite of Equilibrium on the Equinox on the 22nd.
That's the one I expected.
And then September is gonna get rebooted on the 28th. That's September 2024. You know, people call it's just called September, but people call it September 2024.
Right, like it's like calling something Sonic 06 or Doom 2016.
Exactly, yeah.
Like it's not actually, but like
people do just say September 24, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, can check those out many times throughout the month. All right, that's gonna be it for tonight. Thank you all for joining. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.